Again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IATA Innovation Day. Innovating Better Together is the theme of our event, and we are really putting the spotlight on this last session on innovation. But before we go into the pure innovation of this day, I would like again to thank our host airlines and our sponsor of the gala dinner, Emirates. They've put a fantastic show yesterday for us. I think everybody were astonished and more than delighted about this event that was absolutely great. As you can see on stage, we've catered for the speakers after this kind of event. We're not sure they are in a good shape to present to you, so we give them a little bit of comfort, and it's also for them because they have rehearsed all night. So sorry we didn't clean up the stage in the proper manner, but that's also about innovation. Talking about innovation, I would like to thank our sponsors for the Innovation Day, Plug and Play Travel, and you will hear more about Plug and Play at the end of this session and how innovation can be introduced, developed, fostered in our industry, but also a bit of a benchmark of other industries, how they innovate, and how can we learn from that. I also would like to thank Mercator, our other sponsor for this Innovation Day. And moving on, IATA has embarked in an innovation journey. It's been more than 3 years now that we are trying to put innovation at the heart of what we do, and it's a lot of things. It's everywhere. It's not only about technology. It's not only about new processes. It's also about mindset. It's also about standards. It's also about governance. It might be a paradox, but we are trying to innovate in our governance as well. It's also about research, and we are using everything we can to try and foster innovation in our industry. You heard on the opening plenary that the Simplifying the Business group is bringing innovation, is bringing new processes, new ideas for the benefit of the industry, for the benefit of the airlines. We are learning from our members. Innovation is coming from individual airlines as well. But you probably have heard from the Simplifying the Business people that there are things airline can do by themselves. And they are innovating. It's competitive advantage. But there is a limit. There is a limit of things they can do individually, and that's where we come into play, because there are things that collectively this industry can do that an airline cannot do on its own. So IATA is trying to build an ecosystem of innovation to foster innovation for our members, to create an environment that will help our members to innovate for themselves, for the benefit of the passenger, which is at the heart of this event. So you will hear today a few things that we introduce in IATA. We have several. Juan Ivan will probably talk a little bit about that later on. He calls that X-Files. This is his research. He's talking about, he's looking at technologies, he's looking at ideas. We talk about blockchain. You heard about blockchain a lot, and we are looking at blockchain from not only a financial perspective, but also about the process perspective. We are looking at automation, and automation does not mean only automated cars, but drones and many other things. We are looking at digital trust. You heard about OpenAPI. You heard about the travel communication project. It's a whole ecosystem behind. And we are looking also at sharing economy. And we are building this ecosystem, as I said, also even in our governance structure. We need to be more agile. And standards are important. I remember a speaker during the executive summit saying, well, there is not enough standards that would allow innovation really to develop. Apple, for instance, created a standard with iOS, and you can see how the innovation came in from the outside. So we need to do the same. And our governance needs to evolve as well. We can't review our standards once a year. So we've introduced like the notion of alpha, beta, to have a more agile way of fostering innovation. So it's all this ecosystem that we are building.